people are just like ready to go scout out the
join. Nah, you guys have to listen to the story more. That was all I'm going to say.
My
but
God.
that's explained.
You're such a UB apologist.
Hello and welcome to the Press Start podcast, Press Start Australia's weekly video game discussion podcast. I'm your host, Ewan, joined today by my fellow gamers and co-hosts, Shannon.
Hello.
James.
Hello.
And Brody.
Hello.
I think we've got a bit of a delay on you, Brody, but no, it's a little bit, but it's fine. We're gonna persist. Your internet seems to just be having a mind of its own today, but I'm hoping it sticks around long enough to hear your review of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is our first topic of today. But I'm also eager to discuss AI replacing actors in video games and the Nintendo Switch potentially being one of the biggest gaming launches of all time. But first, James, winding the clock back to last week, you might remember that I started the episode asking if you were excited about the Silent Hill transmission presentation that was due to happen pretty soon after we recorded and released the last episode. Did you like the look of Silent Hill F that we got in the presentation, though?
Yeah, I thought the presentation, I actually watched it not live, so after.
Is that when you kept falling asleep?
Means, but
on demand.
During watching the presentation?
I don't recall falling asleep. I don't know what that jab was for, but
because it was awful.
Anyway,
sorry, continue.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I do think they talked a lot for one trailer, but the trailer itself, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I love the idea that, you know, Silent Hill has always been about kind of like rust and blood and stuff, and I do feel like they've definitely kind of done the most they can with that. And they did mention in the presentation, like, this idea was that this world would be more about, like, I guess, the beauty of horror in a way. Like, it sounds weird, but when you look at the trailer and see all these, like, you know, like flowers and stuff, it looks really cool. Like, it's a really, really interesting direction. Yeah. And I can't wait to see how it ties in, because obviously I'm sure it will. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't look like Silent Hill. It doesn't take place in Silent Hill. But 3 and 4 and some of the other shitty ones also didn't. So, like, I don't think it's that is a new thing personally. Well, it's not a new thing personally.
This is the first one to take place in Japan, isn't it? Did I remember that correctly, or did I dream that?
Yeah. That's correct. I think from memory they've all been in America. Because Silent Hill was always kind of like American horror through a Japanese lens, which is what made it so, like, kind of oddball. But this is like this. I feel like rural Japan in the 60s is like a really cool setting, and it's definitely not one that's been tapped enough in horror since the Siren games or the Fatal Frame games. So I'm like super keen. I think it'll be really cool.
It might disappoint you to hear this, James, but I'm yet to go back and finish my playthrough of Silent Hill 2, the remake. I don't know where I got to, like, maybe halfway.
Were you enjoying it?
I was enjoying it, yeah. I was also bricking myself. I found it rather scary. I think I got through the hospital. I think I'm outside of the hospital, maybe in, like, the next building now. Where does that put me?
2/3, I reckon, ish.
Oh, okay, all right.
Ish, yeah. It's pretty big, but
yeah, I was surprised at how long it was.
Maybe halfway.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like. I think at some point I had looked at, like, a list of locations or something, and I was like, okay.
Wow.
Kind of.
Did you watch this trailer?
I did. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. I think I totally hear what you're saying about, like, the beauty of horror. Like, I think the kind of artistic direction they're sort of presenting in this trailer very much is that sort of vein. And I think the setting is really cool. I'm surprised to hear that the franchise has never, like, been in Japan before, I guess.
Well, it's been Silent Hill, right? Like the
and
that's what intrigues me the most. Is, like, the setting is so crucial to the weirdness. Like, it's a tainted place.
Is it? Is it a prequel? I don't know the deep lore of Silent Hill and when they've all been set.
I was going to ask, is this the first time it's been set in the past as well?
Yeah, I mean, they've never really given dates, but you kind of assume based on, like I don't know, present. Like the cars and the tech, it's been like the 90s or early 2000s, but never this far back, correct? But in short message, they did start talking about stuff like the Silent Hill effect and how people are hallucinating outside of the town. So I don't know if that's them setting up that
Global.
for Silent Hill F. Yeah, it's going global. But yeah,
how does that sit with you? Them like expanding the lore of it. Are you
just
excited
think,
about that prospect or nervous?
I just don't think we know enough to make comment about it yet. I think I do think the last two games were really average because it was stuck there. Like they couldn't really do much, right? Like I feel like they are trying something new, which I think is good. Like and obviously the remakes are great too. But I'm the same with Resident Evil. I like when they do like new and exciting stuff. So yeah, I'm like skeptical because I hated short message, but I'm still excited because I think it looks good and I think there's really good potential for it to be creepy. So
yeah, I think it looks cool, and I was enjoying what I was playing with Silent Hill 2. I'd hope it gets back to it, but this year has been stacked, and the slate of new releases just continue to pick up. And in that vein, Brody, I'm eager to hear about your experience with Assassin's Creed Shadows. You've been reviewing the long-anticipated foray into feudal Japan for the franchise. Does it live up to expectations?
Okay, as we've established, my internet is not great, so bear with me here. But look, I guess I'd say it really depends on what those expectations are that you go in with. Like, to give a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, like, if James weren't in Japan for the last handful of weeks, like, I wouldn't have been reviewing this probably. So I sort of entered my time with Assassin's Creed Shadows as, I guess, cautiously optimistic. Like, I hadn't really played an Assassin's Creed game with any kind of fervor since maybe the one before Valhalla. Like, I did play Valhalla for a bit, but ultimately I was sort of scared away by how like big that world was, and just didn't have the time to get into it. So going in with those kind of expectations, I mean, this is a fine Assassin's Creed game. I think it still has some of the issues that I wasn't prepared to love about Valhalla. I think the world is probably edging on too big. I felt like a lot of the stuff that you sort of find along the way isn't really worthwhile, and I spent so much time traveling in between towns that I would hate to think of how much of my like 35 hours that made up. But on the whole, it's still everything you expect. Like, it's a very checklist heavy sort of open world, very Ubisoft. Like, they don't really stray from that formula at all, I don't think. They do some cool new things with combat, and obviously having the dual protagonists. They introduced like seasons, although I don't think, despite them sort of like pushing that forward last year when I saw the game at SGF as like a big feature, I don't really think that really played into too much in terms of how things are really, like, you can approach situations differently, but it doesn't really fundamentally change the game, I don't think. But yeah, so they do add a few things. It's still that reversion back to like RPG light, like Valhalla. So I think the combat is the game's strength for me. Like, I think the variety of choice and being able to be that raging bull character as Yasuke, or, you know, the more like agile, swift shinobi type as the other one. Like, there's a lot of variety and a lot of choice in how you can approach pretty much any situation. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to sort of, I guess, gather my thoughts, because I'm still in the process of gathering my thoughts. I'm halfway through like writing this review, and I'm not really sure where I'm landing with it. But yeah, I think ultimately I can come at Shadows and come away pretty happy, mainly due to the fact that I've spent 4 or 5 years away from Assassin's Creed. Like, had I played this the year after Valhalla, I think I would have found its rigid unwillingness to change from its formula kind of egregious. But because I have spent that time away, I think I found the fun, I found the enjoyment, and I think it's a good Assassin's Creed game. I think it makes use of its setting. It's obviously not novel anymore, because they've sort of missed the boat on that. Like, we've had Ghost of Tsushima and all these, plenty of other games set in Japan that have sort of stolen that thunder in a way. So that said, I did enjoy my time with it. The story did hit for me on the most part. I think the personal stories of the leads are good. How they weave through the world and all like the politicking that goes on there is interesting. And I was worried for a while that it might not tie into the larger story and sort of tie in the Templars and the Assassins quite as much. But I think by the end it all sort of came together quite nicely, and I guess, yeah, sort of platformed sort of where it was to go from there. So all in all, happy enough with it. But again, it is an Assassin's Creed game, and that, you know, comes with all the good and all the bad that suggests.
I know we've spoken about this a little bit before the show, and you're kind of like still settling in on the score. We quite often have these conversations before you kind of finalize your review. Where do you think you're sitting kind of score-wise?
Yeah, look, I'm ebbing and flowing between a 7.5 and an 8.
Okay,
that's sort of where I'm hovering at the minute. Like, I probably couldn't see myself going much higher than that, just because of there are things that I really didn't like. Like I said, look, the open world, I don't know how you guys, like the other guys that have played it so far, have felt about it, but I don't know. I've just spent so much time just like going in between townships, and like there's just nothing for me like out there, so I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I still think it does enough,
think, like,
right? And it
kind of arrived at there though.
Sorry,
this is the lag. We're going to talk over each other.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish, Brody. Go for it.
No. What did you ask?
I was going to say, like, I think given the trepidation coming into the launch of this game, like both from kind of long-term Assassin's Creed fans and people kind of curious, given the setting this time, I reckon the fact that you kind of arrived at where you have, and that it's kind of not too much a break from the mold in terms of the Assassin's Creed formula. I think some people will quite welcome that news.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
in
think
a word.
some people
The
were a
word
little
I
bit
found to
hesitant
describe
around
it
how
was
the kind of two characters were going to play into it.
Yeah, the word I found to describe it in the end was inoffensive. Like, it's just, yeah, it's an Assassin's Creed game. It does what it does. You know what you're getting into, albeit the few extra little bells and whistles they add here and there. So, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed my time.
Shannon, I think you've been playing a little bit of it as well. James, have you played any of it so far? Yeah, excellent. Because all of us have managed to dabble in it a little bit. That's a rare thing. Shannon, how are you finding it so far? Do you kind of share Brody's assessment of it so far?
I think so. Granted, I'm like maybe... I think we're similar places, James, unless you've had a 24-hour session in the last 24 hours.
I've had a big
like
session
8-10
in the last
hours
12 hours.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm W. Yeah, I'm W now.
No, I'm enjoying it. I didn't play Valhalla at all outside of like a few previews that I did, just because I think that was a really busy like next gen time. I don't think I played a heaps of. Honestly, the last game I really sunk time into was Origins. So I, like Brady, I haven't been playing 100 hours of every Assassin's Creed game like James has. So I have been enjoying it. I do think like this game 10 years ago would have had a bigger impact, just because I feel like people really wanted Japan, and I feel like we've had a lot of open world Japanese, like it does it well, and it's like a really beautiful game, and like it seems faithful to what we know of Japan in that time. That's probably the worst thing I can say. I'm gonna get so much hate, but anyway, it feels like a good open world Japan game. It feels like a good Assassin's Creed game. Like the combat's really fun. I've really upset Brody. A lot of the stuff is annoying, as it always is in Assassin's Creed, like the level gating stuff, or just you not feeling like you're pushing things forward, or I don't know if Brody spoke in depth about the building, but that just feels useless to me. Like there is a lot of bloat stuff that I think that Ubisoft could look to phase out to improve the game. And it is also weird that you don't play as Yasuke, is that how you say it? I haven't played as him again, and I'm like 10-ish hours in. I think 10, 12 hours is when you get him. So to me, that was really odd.
I was curious to go back to Brody on that and ask about the two characters, but we might need to wait for him to get back. Unless you have an answer on that, James.
I can chime in here. So basically, I don't know. So I'll tell you my journey with this game, right? Like, so I turned it on, and then I immediately felt nauseous when I saw the Animus stuff. So like the battle pass, like they've kind of battle passed the progression.
Oh, the menu, the opening menu.
Yeah, like so when you boot it, right, and you've got all those options. I was like, this is like repulsive. It was just not a vibe. So I hated that. But then I started playing the game, right, and you get to play as Yasuke like for about, I feel like 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning. And then it switches to Naue. And I suspect, before I say anything about this game, I just want to say I really like it. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's like an amazing. It's not the best Assassin's game, especially in this new era. I do feel like I have a weird nostalgia for Odyssey. Like I feel like I really enjoyed that game. I didn't appreciate it as much as I probably could have back in the day. Even though I gave it a pretty high score from memory, but like I just think that setting is really cool. The Greece setting is really awesome. But this definitely, you can tell this is the Odyssey team, right? I'm just going to quickly tab over to see what Brody's saying before I keep talking.
Definitely don't read.
You're right in the throes of the technical difficulty errors.
Okay.
He's having a real hard time reconnecting. We might have to persist without him just now.
So you can tell the Odyssey DNA to this game is there, right? Like in terms of the loot and stuff, is, you might get 70 katanas that all have different levels and they all kind of look the same. That was the one thing I didn't like about Odyssey. I'm kind of disappointed that persists here. But that being said, once you get Yasuke, after 15-ish hours or whatever, I think it's a really, like, I don't know if this was the intention, but you spend so long as Naoe, and she's quite squishy. So, like, if you get caught, you die pretty quick. If you're good at combat to a point, right?
She's much more like parry focused and stuff.
She is. Right? Like if you fuck up, you fuck up. And I really like about this game as well, I feel like everyone attacks you at once. It's not just one person taking turns. I noticed that. I feel like
they've improved that.
That feels like, it feels a little bit more real in terms of the combat. But then once you get to play as Yasuke and he can just like fucking plow through hordes of people, like that is a really, really cool feeling. Like it makes you really appreciate his strengths more. That being said, I suspect most Assassin's Creed people, like people who like all these games, I've liked most of them except Valhalla. Well, I liked Valhalla, I just thought it was too big. I suspect most people will explore and experience that world as Naoe, because she's got the grapple hook, she can climb, and all that jazz.
I found the grapple hook a bit clunky and weird.
Well, I kind of wish you could kind of just pull it out, aim.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
go anywhere, right?
Yeah. Like I could use it. I couldn't. Like sometimes I couldn't. Like it just depended on if there was like a.
Yeah, it's more about if something is like directly above you.
Yeah.
Which isn't that useful in my opinion, but I'm trying to talk lots before Brady comes back. But yeah, I do think there were some, and even like the shadows and stuff, like getting rid of flames, you can't even get rid of like every single light source isn't extinguishable, right? It's weird. There's like, you might come to a little lantern and you're like, oh, I'll turn that off to get more shadow so I can sneak around, but then you can't.
Is that like the quirk of the game, is that you're kind of like operating in the shadows? Because I noticed that like there's one throwaway line in the tutorial is like, like hide in the dark and stuff. And then I noticed you could extinguish stuff, but I don't think it does a good job of teaching you that mechanic otherwise.
It's really odd. Because it seems to be important, right? Because it's the title. But then you can't extinguish every light you see. It's really odd how specific it seems to be. That being said, there is something weird about this game. I do suspect the delays were, in terms of structure and stuff, I was getting tutorial pop-ups that I'd never had before after both characters had come together.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not playing it, but the tutorials for like Yasuke and Naoe are kind of relegated to these flashbacks where you kind of learn how they become who they are and stuff.
Yeah.
But you might not go and do those quests straight away. So you kind of miss a lot of stuff there. It's really weird. I think this game has been cut up. Like, I think the beginning and the middle has been cut up quite a bit. And
I had a similar thing where it's like I'd kind of come out of what felt like a very long sort of setup to the game, like lots of kind of cutscenes. And I went out into the open world, and the first thing I encountered was this kind of glowing red mark, and I'm like, oh, this looks important. I better do this. And it threw me into like another big cutscene. I get this whole kind of backstory to Naoe, and I'm like, okay, this just feels more of what I've just done, and I was kind of excited to like finally be out there in the open world and get a sense of that. It kind of broke up the pace a little bit. It's a bit,
and there is like a pivotal moment in Naoe's story early on, and I do feel like if those optional cutscenes had actually been in the game at the beginning and I'd seen them then, it would pay off that moment better. But to their credit, I do think the way that they bring Naoe and Yasuke together is very interesting, and I haven't finished it yet, but I think the way that they're going to weave Yasuke into the big plot of the game, like of Assassin's Creed, is quite interesting too, if it's going where I think it's going. Yeah, like I love the idea. I don't think we're actually meant to talk about this. I think it's something they specifically said don't talk about. But the way that they come together, like Naoe and Yasuke in this game, is quite cool. Like quite not what I was expecting.
I don't want to know. So, Brody,
yeah, don't spoil that too much.
No,
Brody, your internet seems to be working.
Your
internet seems to be working momentarily, so I'm keen to let you get another word in. How did you find the way the game balanced the two characters? Did you feel like you kind of got to like experience them both in equal halves? Did they complement each other? Did you enjoy them equally? I'm curious. Yeah, I don't know. I think to sort of tail in on sort of what James's point was, yeah, the way they sort of like break their narratives up is a little bit odd. Ultimately, I do think they end up in a good place. But in terms of how like they balance, I guess, how much you play as either, I don't know. Like, I thought there'd be like moments in like Spider-Man 2 where like you'd have to play as one or have to play as another, but I didn't find that really to be the case too much throughout. Generally, given any circumstance, I could play as who I wanted. So I'd often, if it was a big combat-heavy section, I'd play as Yasuke, and if it was like if I was traveling anywhere, basically because she's more nimble, I would play as Naoe, and I'd like sort of get through the world a bit quicker because Yasuke is just clumsy as shit. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't find there to be really any rhyme or reason to, I guess, who you'd have to play at any given time, which I guess in retrospect is a little jarring, but yeah. I mean, it served its purpose, I suppose. I am keen to play more of it. I think like your kind of assessment of it seems fair based on what I've played of it so far, but I still feel like I'm very early days. But similarly to the four of you, I've not really played much of an Assassin's Creed game since Valhalla, I would say. I played a little bit of Mirage, but that was not much.
To be fair, that's like only one game you've missed. Like,
gosh, I'd imagine there was more between there.
So there was like Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. And then
Valhalla,
Mirage.
I feel like Valhalla just never ended, so it felt like 72 games because they just kept expanding.
Yeah, there was an update
was
for
a lot of
every 3 minutes, and it added 30 hours. I think, like, to speak to people who play a lot of these games as well, this feels like what they were trying to do with Syndicate, with the two playable characters. They haven't really done that since then, where it's actually two different characters. It's not just like you can play as girl or boy version of the character. It's two characters with very distinct strengths and weaknesses. Which, like, I think like I would go as far as say it probably is better than Syndicate, for sure. I'm enjoying it more than Origins. I don't know if it's topping Odyssey for me, like in this new era, but yeah.
I think we were chatting, James, that like Origin and Odyssey, like no other games has really done those except for Immortals. Felt a bit Odyssey-like, but and even Valhalla, like I feel like they all feel more unique as a setting.
I think, which is like all time and context, right? Like I feel like and people have been saying this for so long, like they've just had to do something. I think the future of Assassins is more, to me, like Hex is much more interesting a concept and an era that hasn't really been touched by that yet. But to your point about whoever was talking about authenticity, there are some aspects of the map that are, incorrect. Like you can't walk from Osaka to Kyoto in 15 minutes. Like it takes 3 hours on a 300-kilometer train, but 2.5 hours. But when you actually get to all those landmarks and stuff, it's quite like, I've never had this before myself. I know a lot of people make jokes about this for Assassin's Creed 2 in Italy, but it's kind of weird. Like a lot of these temples in the Kyoto area, I went to this year and last year, and it's just kind of cool to see all that stuff like be quite accurate to it all. And I think that's what Ubisoft's always been good at with these games, is kind of creating these massive, authentic, vibey worlds, right?
Yeah. I will admit, like, there does seem to be a lot of navigation around the map, even based on my kind of like early time with the game. Brody sort of made that point, but I have enjoyed like kind of exploring the terrain. I think they've done some kind of like interesting stuff with the verticality of different things as well.
It's like the hilliest Assassin's Creed I feel like I've played in a long time. Like I don't remember sliding down so many hills, like because you can't climb a lot of the areas now. which is like, I guess, authentic to the region, right? But I think that like the only thing I don't like I genuinely do not like is I feel like there's a lot of emphasis placed on the base building, like the Sims mode, and I know like one of my close friends, she knows who she is, will love that because she's obsessed with the Sims and always seems to be playing it at some point. But like I just wasn't interested in building my settlement like that, and a lot of the rewards for exploration are like now you can do a new pot plant in your base, and I'm like, cool, but like
and a lot of the cosmetic stuff I was unlocking, I was just like, nah, that's too much. I don't need it.
And it's like, cool, like I don't need pot plants. Like, give me a cool fucking cape or some shit. Like, do you know what? Like, or awesome sword. And there is some of that stuff in there. But yeah, I think like it's overall like it doesn't change the formula in any way, right? Like it is exactly what you would expect from an Assassin's Creed game. I wouldn't expect anything super new. Definitely better than Outlaws. I'll say that.
And it runs great as well. Like based on what I played so far, I'm playing in like the kind of balanced like 45 FPS mode.
Even when you're like fighting and like she's got like Noah's got the Kusari Gama and she like swings the chain and like pedals and shit get blown up into the air. Do you know what I mean? Like, and all the wind, like the wind adds so much to it, right? Like,
and the weather, like when it would change to like thunderstorms and stuff. I don't know if it's just my sound system, but like the thunder claps around and whatever else, like it was just.
It just looks.
It is. I'm like, as a big Ghost of Tsushima fan, I'm pleased at like how much it does remind me of Ghost of Tsushima. Certainly in terms of just like the level of polish and the way the game presents itself, and I think a little bit the combat, like it feels a little bit more kind of zoomed in and tighter than I remember Assassin's Creed games being in the past. Like I feel like I'm using the lock on and the parries kind of more than I typically did, but like I said, I'm not like an in-depth kind of Assassin's Creed fan. But yeah, the one thing kind of presentation wise that did annoy me is like your waypoint. I loved with Tsushima, like that wind system that they had in kind of directing you to your waypoint. And the fact that when you do this and it just like chalks a white line to your next waypoint, I'm like, I really wish you'd borrowed that mechanic from.
But don't you think that they don't really, the waypoint in this is not necessarily like what they want you to do? Like I feel like with the scouts and the way the game gives you objectives, like it's never really kind of go here,
objective
right?
system,
but
is that new
it's
to
such
this?
a big game, like
so that's
you want to move through it with
in there
some pace.
since. So back in the day when Odyssey came out, you could pick between objectives being vague like this, or you could pick if they were like go to this point. But this game I don't think gives you the choice, right? I guess that's what the
I liked it
is.
to an extent, but I don't know if it needed to be a thing for every single like mission in the game. It does feel a little bit annoying to me.
Particularly when you just like scout out the area and it gives you the waypoint specifically, right?
Yeah,
like,
but that's the thing, right? Like you get the choice. I think you still have that choice.
Just change it up a bit. Just do it 1 every 4 or something. And then
I don't know. If
just give me a waypoint.
It's not well set up as well. It's like, all right, now go out there and do your quests. And, oh, yeah, you have scouts. Like, you have people working for you all of a sudden. I know you just spent, like, a month in a temple kind of getting healed up. But, like, people are just, like, ready to go and scout out the country.
Nah, you guys have to listen to the story more, is all I'm going to say.
My
but
God.
That's explained.
You're such a UB apologist.
Oh, I am not. Like, not even. But anyway,
I'm joking.
I'm the first to say this is nothing new and nothing like I don't want to say nothing exciting.
I don't even know
but
if I need it to be anything new. Like the people that like it,
it's McDonald's. Like it's like not like
settle down.
It's like not good food, but it's like it serves a purpose in society, right? Like you know what you're getting. Yeah, I don't know.
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been. Absolutely. It could have been disastrous.
And there have been worse Assassin's Creed games at launch, just from like a total package and performance thing. Yeah. Many of them.
Yeah. We're half an hour into this podcast now. We've got to keep cracking on with other things. But Brody, I'm conscious that like we've just got on a huge tangent there. Did you want to get a final word in about Assassin's Creed Shadows and I guess like who you'd recommend the game for?
Yeah, look, again, like all I can say is if you are a fan of Assassin's Creed and you're happy with what that means, and you know, with just another game in a different setting with new characters that sort of feeds into that bigger meta story that they're telling, then yeah, like jump on board. Like there's nothing wrong with this game. Like it is, like I said, inoffensive. What's on the box is what you get.
Nice. All right, let's talk AI in video games now. Ashley Birch has taken a TikTok sharing a video in which she criticizes the use of AI to generate speech for Aloy in a leaked tech demo video attributed to Sony. The video has now been sort of taken down. I didn't actually get an opportunity to see it myself, but I'm curious if any of you did. For context, she plays the character in Guerrilla's Horizon franchise and goes on to mention the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike in which video game performers are asking for protections against AI. Shannon, over to you first. How concerned are you about the incorporation of AI in video games, specifically when it comes to performances, I guess?
Look, I'm not someone that thinks about it 24/7. I know a lot of people do. I mean, I didn't see this as like, wow, they're obviously going to use this in the next Horizon game, like an AI robot that you can talk to and it uses an AI voice to come back to you. Like, I think it's always going to be something that people are exploring and using AI to like build tech demos and show what's possible. I do feel like this was taken out of context a little bit, and like I believe them when they say like this wasn't in any active development for use. Like I do believe that, and I think there'd be a lot of these AI models that are being built that will never see the light of day. Like that's just how tech works. But yeah, it is also a massive fear because we're seeing more and more like how AI is doing a great job at like replicating voices or like deep fakes. Like there is going to be a time where it's easier and the same to use AI than, I mean, we've seen it like with people that have passed and stuff, right? Like it is a valid option and it's going to become more and more of a valid option as these models improve. So it is worrying. It's, yeah, I don't know what to say. I guess I don't know too much about the process and like, is it, yeah. I feel like for people like Ashley Birch, like I can understand why she would be worried, but I don't feel like PlayStation would move to AI and do her dirty in that way, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe they are planning on doing that.
Yeah, I think like the point that they make about having kind of rules and like parameters in place makes absolute sense, and they should kind of collaborate in developing what those are. I see like some cause to think like why it might be beneficial to game development, like maybe dialogue trees kind of opening up the possibilities there. And so for certain games that might work. But yeah, I don't think it could ever like replace entirely the performance that a human brings to it. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't ever ask for that.
Well, I don't know why PlayStation would have built like the motion cap tech and stuff that they have to then go in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, 100%.
Weird to me.
Yeah. James?
I just think like going back to what you were saying, Ewan, like the dialogue trees and such. Like
playing devil's advocate a bit there.
Yeah, no, I get that, but there are games that have more dialogue than Horizon that have, like real voice work. To be clear, like I think this is really shit. Like I can see. I mean, obviously this wasn't meant for public. I'm sure they were just playing around with some shit, see how it works, blah blah blah. But I think like long term, like for people who their livelihood is their art, like I do think that's crap. Like that you can just kind of replace somebody. But I don't know. I feel like so much of performances in like games and movies and stuff, there is a human element there that you just can't replicate in a way.
Yeah.
So I really hope people who are making these decisions are smart enough to recognize that.
Yeah. And you watch the behind the scenes making of the games, right? And you hear so much about what the actor kind of brings to the development of the character, and they embed like a little bit of themselves, or they explore kind of new directions from the character. I think like if you're just working with game designers inputting kind of prompts into AI, then like it just kind of narrows the bucket of like inputs. Like I think it'd be good to get the input of a human being kind of there in the motion capture studio. I think like, yeah, there's a magic that I'm just not convinced AI is ever going to be able to replicate. But I don't know. Maybe there's some bigger AI advocates out there that would just be wait and see.
Yeah, I just think like long term, obviously these technologies draw from a bank, right? Like a big bank of already existing performances in terms of generative AI for images. This is nothing new either. Like it's probably not that interesting to people.
Replicating
like,
what's been.
I just think like what happens when like all the artists are like poor and or dead, and like they can't create new art for the AI to kind of scrape anymore. Like it just doesn't. Yeah. I think I can absolutely see why somebody with dollar signs in their eyes will go for it. Like short term, I get that, but I just think like big picture, like it kind of doesn't. It just is really shit for the medium. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be. Can't think of any way that this can be good, personally.
Yeah. Brody, what's your take?
Yeah.
Yeah, similar boat to James, but again, like it'll have its applications, but yeah, like it's probably not likely this was meant for public viewing or consumption, so probably jumping at shadows a little bit in terms of reading a lot into it, but yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen like 5 demos from NVIDIA like showing this off at like CES and Computex. Like every time I go to an NVIDIA thing, they're showing off like some robot you can talk to in a game that responds to you. Like everyone is working on this kind of stuff. I can see the coolness from like a tech point of view. Like obviously, yeah, the thought of it like I think going into a game and replacing someone is not cool,
like,
but like it is
to see it is incredible. Like you're like, wow, like I can't believe that.
Yeah,
I agree from that aspect, but I just think when you think deeper than that, like it is kind of it's really shit. The implications are really shit.
Well, I agree, but could you feel that way about anything AI or like a lot of tech replaces like self-service checkouts? I think that about when I go to them.
I wonder if there's a parallel to be drawn. I'm thinking on my feet here, but I wonder if there's like a parallel to be drawn behind like mass-produced furniture, just like kind of run-of-the-mill sort of stuff, versus like a handcrafted kind of handmade sort of thing. Shannon's not buying this at all. Like there's,
I guess.
To Shannon's example, like, I always use self-service checkouts and kiosks and shit at McDonald's, and that's that. Like, am I a hypocrite then? Because
we don't want that slop in our video games. We don't want the shortcut like to.
I mean that
just
sucks,
think
right?
to be
it
honest,
sucks when you think about the checkout chicks that aren't working at Woolworths anymore, which I was one for many a year. Like we just go to a robot now and just do it all. Like it's not great.
I just think like with all the customizations I make, it's probably better for everybody if only a machine experiences that. Personally,
I'm starting to think this is the wrong parallel to draw. It's falling apart very quickly.
It is. I don't
option
think...
though, Ewan. Like, are you saying like I don't know? Everyone there'd be like 55 more carpenters if like IKEA didn't exist?
Is that what furniture builders would be?
Like I guess I'm trying to find an analogy for like we might exist in a world where AI is like being incorporated into games in a major way, but are we gonna seek out the experiences that are like kind of more handcrafted? I guess like
I don't even know if we're gonna know a lot of the time. That's probably what's more scary. Like it's probably scary. It is already slowly coming into games. I feel like people are back against it, but
at the end of the day, I think IKEA
do not know about assets, and
IKEA's proof that if it's cheap enough and it's good enough, it'll do. So I mean,
that's exactly
that's where we're going.
Yeah.
But
let's not set the bar so low.
I don't know. A performance from a person is different to a table. Like, right.
For now.
Yes, you're right. Now I'm understanding I'm part of the problem.
The machine, like the AI performance is not going to reach, I guess, the emotional heights that a real actor can. But a table created by a machine does the same work as a table created.
We've established it's a very different thing, and the analogy I was trying to create is fallen apart very quickly.
Sorry, I just think this topic is so done to death. We should I don't know, but yeah.
We lost our way along the way, but I think we're in fierce agreement with Ashley Burge here. So let's just go back to that. One more news to wrap up this show today. In news shared by Bloomberg, it's reported analysts are expecting the Nintendo Switch 2 to carry a price tag of $650 to $795, somewhere in that sort of range. Despite the increase in price over the last generation, they're tipping the Nintendo Switch 2 to be the biggest game launch in history. Brody, maybe first to you, a reaction on the price. Does that sit okay with you? Kind of $650 to $800?
$650 sounds good. $800 sounds a bit much. But that said, we know very little, I guess, at this stage. I mean, we can hypothesize based on leaks and stuff, but we don't really know what this thing's doing or what it's bringing to the table or even software. So I guess that will be decided in a couple of short weeks or when we get the reveal event. But Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I've got massive FOMO of all this shit, so I'm going to buy it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm certainly with you. I feel like 650 I can stomach. 800 I'd be gawking a little bit, but
Fucking shut up.
yeah, this
The
is
game's-
not. It's not.
worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
If they came with it
I mean,
free
at
for
$800, it's more than
feel like
I spent on my PS5 at launch.
You've both spent more money on tech that you haven't used. Like,
I don't know if I have.
what?
one of you
Shannon
has.
and Brody, maybe.
Like, absolutely.
Your headset, but you use that every day, I'm guessing, Ewan, so that's okay.
My headset did
Go on.
set me
If
back.
you want to
crazy
bring me
now,
into
but
this,
that
you
was
give
my
me
own
examples,
fault.
bitch.
I would love to bring you
PlayStation
into this,
VR
but it's
too.
hard because
And PSVR 2, Brody, I didn't have to think that hard.
I
Yeah.
didn't
we
buy
need
it.
we
I
need
didn't buy it,
AI
mate.
to
It was a
replace
present.
Brody's internet. Create
It
a
was a
separate Brody.
present. Oh.
I don't know if it's going to hit $800. I think it'll hit. It's going to be more expensive than $450 just by the nature of like the world
Yeah.
and everything else. But I think $800 will be. Yeah, no.
I don't know. I feel like I bought a Pro and I haven't played a game on it yet. So like, like I literally bought it for Death Stranding. So like, I'm happy to buy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
that-
all probably going to buy it.
I
Like,
just
we
love
don't-
video
it's so hard
games.
to know, but
I can't, and especially like Nintendo where they put out so much stuff. Like I just
Yeah.
can't see myself excluding
Given I never
myself from that.
upgraded from my launch day Switch, I feel like that's kind of made me stomach a bit of a higher price a little bit more. Like I haven't done that kind of mid-generation update, nor have I done on my PS5. I didn't buy a PS5 Pro.
I also think with trade
but I'm gonna
deals
want
that
this.
will make it a lot more palatable if you are like, are you gonna?
Yes,
get your
not
retro
me.
games ready to go.
No, no.
I can't imagine I'm
Trade
getting
in
much for my
800 Wii
launch
games
day
tomorrow.
Switch. Which, credit to it, it's still ticking
Ewan,
along
I
nicely.
reckon you'll get at least 200 to 250 for your launch Switch. I reckon.
You reckon?
Yeah, that's a guess. Not a
Selling it on
promise, a guess.
Marketplace or
No, just
trading it
walking
in?
into an EB. 100%. Yeah, 200 at least. I reckon 200.
That's
We
very
should have done
games.
this as a prediction at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. You'll get this from me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I don't know if you had any questions because I closed the doc, but
Keep going, Shannon.
It is-
I want to
it
see
is-
where you take this now.
it's going to be the biggest tech launch ever, I think, at least in gaming, especially when we get a new 3D Donkey Kong game and GTA 6, which I'm still banking on.
Do you reckon that's just like a combination of the Switch being so successful, people kind of ready for a new one, launch kind of titles?
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the pinning down as to being the success.
I think
of this,
I think
'cause-
it's the fact that like people have been waiting forever for the Switch. I think we know we're getting Mario Kart and a new Pokemon,
Yeah.
which like that's a
Mario
great
Kart.
way to getting the casual gamers on board. I think price and the economy like could obviously play into it a little bit like at launch, but I think
Yeah.
once it comes up to Christmas, like people are just willing to buy whatever. So if the stock is there, they're going to sell as many as they've got. On the shelf. And yeah, I just think that's without even knowing what else is coming for it, which I think Nintendo have been prepping for this for years now. And maybe the price will be better than we expect, or maybe there'll be a cool bundle in or something. Like I think Nintendo would have, like they're in a position this time where they can actually work it out and work out like this is the exact price we can come in at where it's going to be affordable and we're going to make money and whatever else. Like they're going to really have their shit together this time. I hope in saying that. If they don't, like that wouldn't surprise me at all either.
I think the continuation is a very good thing as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, it was. It could be like the cycle is. This is meant to be the shit one, right? Like I feel like they always have a success followed by a real dud. But I'm keen to see them hopefully break the cycle.
It maybe depends on how much they lean into this like rumored mouse functionality. If that's like you can only navigate the menus with the mouse Joy-Con, I'm gonna be bouncing out.
It's just so impractical already. I just don't know how they're gonna market that in any way. Like who's playing at a desk? Like
Nintendo's weird like that though. Like like their weird Rumble thing. Like only 1-2 Switch use that, and then nothing else. Like they just, it's like PlayStation. I think they use these things as like a marketing beat, as opposed to like something that's going to be there for the life of the console. I think the fact that it's the Switch 2 like tells you they're in this to make money and be successful. Otherwise, they would have called it, I don't even know, not Switch 2.
I guess as well, like thinking about how many 12-year-olds buy mice and keyboards for their consoles. Like I feel like that's you could if you've already got a mouse in the box.
Yeah,
that's also a thing.
my
I
favorite
guess.
game on the Switch is about to level up exponentially. Get ready. All right, we're going long. Clearly, I'm getting delirious. Let's go to rapid fire question. People Can Fly, the Polish studio behind Outriders, one of my favorite live service games, I'll come out and say that, has entered into a work for hire agreement with Sony Interactive Entertainment to create a prototype based on one of its IP. So one of PlayStation's IP, People Can Fly, working on a prototype. What would you hope that IP would be? Shannon, I think I could guess your answer.
Ape Escape. Is that what you're gonna?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it's
I
a
didn't
PlayStation
put any
question, it's
thought
Ape
into
Escape.
this. I could maybe see something like Helldivers. I don't know. Maybe that's insane of me. Or like, what have been PlayStation's other big online games? What was the?
I hope it's Resistance or like Killzone, one of those kind of. I feel like the Outriders kind of formula could map to that IP like so easily.
Concord.
Wouldn't mind that. Concord. Rogue suggestion, Brody. James, have you got a pick?
I just want to say I'm glad they're okay. I actually thought they
What
had
have they
closed
been
down.
doing? Is that
Well, that's obviously something.
This,
I just
okay.
thought, given how Outriders went, right? Like, I'm surprised. I just assumed they were closed.
Weren't they
down.
like signed
But,
on to do a game for
I'm
Xbox
going to
as
go
well? And then
Yeah,
have
I
that
thought
hand?
they had another one on the go.
fingers in many pies. It seems. My answer, Ewan, is Siphon Filter. Because I'll take anything at this point. But the PS2 one was online-ish, so I feel like that could be a vibe.
they're doing
it
E-Day
was
apparently?
Square.
They're developing E-Day.
Yeah.
Really?
They're co-developing.
Oh,
that
yeah,
with
the
Coalition.
multiplayer or something.
I bet you
Yeah,
it'll
right.
be
they did
SOCOM or something like that.
Bulletstorm, right?
Yeah, I thought SOCOM. Or what was the other one that PlayStation had with like all the different aircrafts?
Hawk.
Hawk.
Wait, Hawks. No, not
Hawks
Hawks.
is Ubisoft.
Warhawk?
Warhawk. Yeah, which was
Starhawk as well.
Give me a
Yeah.
Lair game.
Sorry, I missed
Lair.
that.
the
Lair
dragon
with
one.
the dragons.
I think
Was Mag PlayStation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
Matt
That was,
would be happy.
Yeah.
No, they should do
Zimmerman.
like medieval. That would be cool. Like
Oh yeah.
I don't know how, but
We're just naming everything now.
Yeah, I feel like
let's
there's
move
no
on.
point.
Not so much a rapid fire question. I'm looking at their games developed. Now I'm curious. They were also working on a game, Project Gemini, with Square Enix, which I'd forgotten about. Gears of
I'm
War we
surprised.
mentioned. They have another 5 projects supposedly in development. Again, this is according to their Wikipedia. Project Victoria, Bifrost, Bison, Echo, and Delta.
Can I just say, like, they did Outriders with Square Enix, and they're doing another game with them. Like, I feel like they're
Supposedly.
on borrowed time, especially like with Square Enix, where they have like these ridiculous expectations with every product, right?
Yeah, they do.
That
They
game
do
would
have
definitely
quite
not
a
be
big
happening
history. I
anymore.
didn't quite realize how much they'd co-developed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Been around for a while. Anyhow, let's crack on and play What the Wiki, the Press Start podcast game show with the previous week's winner reads part of a Wikipedia page for an unknown game, and we, the contestants, must guess the game. You're awarded a point for each correct guess, and we wrap up the round on someone to bag themselves 2 points. We do also sometimes have the occasion where someone gets the 2 games right out of the bat, which nets them a bonus point, which, Brody, is exactly what you did last week, leapfrogging the competition and climbing into first place with 8 points. James, you are just 1 point behind on 7. I'm in third on 5 points, and Shannon, you are bringing up the rear at this stage on 4 points. But Brody, as last week's winner, you are in the hosting chair today. This could be interesting with your internet lagging, but
Yeah, this will be diabolical, so I apologize in
Still waiting
advance.
for a
But
response. There we
whoever I hear first, I'm going to call it. So just bear with me. It'll be what it'll be.
did you just cut out?
Anyone who can't hear what we're
Just
hearing,
have
we heard nothing.
Alo read
Wait,
it out
if
for
people are
us,
still
please.
listening at this point in the podcast, they're rolling with the punches. It's fine.
Bear with me. We're coming back. Give me a second.
I don't know how this is going to come out in the edit, but we literally can't hear anything, and he's just frozen in a flood of pixels. Like,
I don't know how this is going
barely-
to come out in the edit as well. If it's still recording this video, he might just be talking right now. I don't know.
I think he's
Paper
probably
skate.
reading. James,
Yeah,
Resident Evil 4. Oh, no,
Oh,
it's
he's gone. Maybe he's trying to reconnect. Let's give him. I wish we could somehow put the live chat as an overlay.
Yeah, we might need to do it over chat, to be honest, or a voice memo.
Well, maybe we don't have what the wiki today.
Assassin's Creed, hey? Is it?
Yeah. James, have you got anything else you want to add about Assassin's Creed while we're here?
I feel like I've talked about it a lot.
I'm keen to play it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm keen to get back to it as we speak.
Maybe while we wait for Brody even.
Yeah, let's do a live playthrough right now. Did anyone while we're here? Why not? Did anyone go for the Death Stranding collectors?
I did not. No.
Yeah, nah. I saw it and was going to, but I'm not a fan.
Do you know what? I wasn't going to. And then I saw I was like, no, I'm going to play it and regret because that statue is very Metal Gear coded. So I have pre-ordered for myself.
Nice.
I've actually
Do you know what
I've got what's his name here? He's watching over us.
Wow.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
I didn't pre-order the Last of Us DualSense controller.
That surprises me because you buy so much.
I'm literally wearing a Last of Us sweater at the moment. Might surprise people, but I wasn't vibing it.
I think
Brady,
their
it looks
controllers
like
are shit. Oh, you back?
They've missed the mark a few times. Yes, we've got you, Brady.
I can.
All right.
Not delay.
Should we crack on? Now, just a tech question here. It's saying that I need to close my other browser for Riverside, but the other browser is telling me to keep it open, so I don't know who to listen to.
Yeah, it's doing that for me too. There's 2 windows this time.
It's been like that for.
We're really giving a peek behind the fourth wall, aren't we?
There's 2 windows. I don't know what that's all about.
2 tabs.
Well, I've always had 2 tabs.
Yeah.
It's probably uploading in your other window and then recording and uploading in this one. I'm a little bit worried that the uploading is the issue, but that's fine.
Good luck cutting all this together. This is going to be a fucking train wreck. All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. Action. All right. Hello. Welcome to What the Wiki. All right. I'm going to start, okay? While the first game was a single-player only game, the sequel is both a single-player and a multiplayer game, however, only in local co-op. The game focuses on 2 characters, which can be controlled by 1 or 2 players, which must work together in order to solve puzzles and manipulate the world. The game's main storyline is set on an island, and it includes additional Ewan.
Oh, the island bit's thrown me. Is it Unravel 2?
It is Unravel 2. Well done, Ewan.
Let's go.
Wow.
I forgot where my camera was.
I would have got that.
All right. Well done, Yui.
You're just a blur anyway. I wouldn't.
Game number 2. The game received mixed reviews upon release. It was praised for its visuals, customization options, setting, and characterization. Its narrative gameplay, mission design, and multiplayer-oriented format received more divided opinions. The game was also widely panned for its numerous graphical issues and bugs, prompting parent company to issue an apology and offer compensation in the form of a free expansion, which acts as an epilogue to the base game's story.
Ewan. Oh, no.
Is it Assassin's Creed Unity?
It is Assassin's Creed Unity. Well done, James.
Bugger.
Yes.
Okay,
Eat
not the
shit,
route
Ewan.
I was going down.
Um,
Devour, flat. Well, I can't remember what he says in Severance. Anyhow,
okay. If that's a spoiler for season 2,
it's
I
a
don't care
reference for
for
the
it.
people that watch Severance.
All right. Game 3.
This is so awkward.
As with previous installments, the games follow the journey of a young blank as they train and battle blank while thwarting schemes of a criminal organization. The games introduced 72 new... I can say Pokemon now, I think we know it's Pokemon. Introduced 72 new Pokemon species and added new features, including a new fairy type, character customization, updated battle and training mechanics such as Mega Evolution,
Fuck.
and completely
James.
rendered... James.
So James coded this game.
It's not. I hate Pokemon.
Shannon,
Is
it's
it?
too, you'd miss out.
Is it Pokemon XY?
It is Pokemon XY. Well done, James.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's just too
well
fucking
done,
good.
James. proving again while you're the reigning champion, James, there with a dominant display, climbing back up in a first place on
Sorry
9.
for the
But
lag.
hey, I'm glad I took a point in the process and narrowed in on Brody a little bit. That's okay, Brody. You're forgiven for the lag. We've persisted through all sorts of technical difficulties today. But with that, let's bring an end to what was this week's episode of the Press Start podcast. Subscribe to us on Listen or the podcast service of your choice. Follow us at press.au and visit the site at pressstart.com.au. If you've stuck around for this late in the podcast, thank you very much for persisting with us. We've been joined today by Brody.
Thank you. You can follow me on most things at Brody_DG.
Also joining us today was James.
Yes. You can find me on X at James ATJMZ, or just Google me and you'll find me elsewhere.
On the
And
fans.
last but not least, it was Shannon.
Yeah, you can follow me at Shannon Grixty on all the things.
I've been your host, Ewan. You can follow me on socials at Ewan_Roxburgh. Do go and check out Brody's full review of Assassin's Creed Shadows. That'll be live as of this episode coming out. But until next week, happy gaming.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.